So bad about that. Elder Scrolls are the books are thick, but the content is like 3 pages. They didn't have enough budget to fill out the other 537 pages. Hi, Grim, looking extra sloppy today. Listen, man, I know. I woke up pretty poor. Okay, and by poor I mean like I felt like shit when I woke up. That's what I meant to say. Not like yeah, you know, whatever. I don't know if that's what you meant, but that's how I'm taking it. He's LARPing as poor today. It's so annoying because the instant you click the mouse cursor disappears. So it's almost like I have to do set input mode UI only. I hate this node though. God. You set the thing to show mouse cursor and then it just disappears on its own. Even though you explicitly set it to show the mouse cursor and then it just disappears. Woke up poor on his yacht. Guys, I fucking hate boats. Can't you just come up with something different? Not a yacht. Say like something like I don't know, like a Lamborghini, you know, or like a McLaren or something. It's something else. You know, woke up poor in his house that he paid off. Like that's more realistic, you know? Not that I don't even have a house that I paid off. I can't even afford a house. I can't even afford a house. Fucking Ontario, Canada things. Shit's a minimum 1 million. It's crazy. Did you guys see this? I think this is the funniest tweet that someone posted recently. It's funny, but also really sad. I'm gonna go wipe my nose. Didn't he say he was something about he was nice and flooding the job market with excellent hires? Apparently, that was something he said on LinkedIn. Or some shit. I don't know if that's true. I deleted my LinkedIn. I fucking hate that website with a passion. But I heard that's apparently what he said. I don't know what the actual, like, quote is exactly word for word. But, like, what's the actual quote word for word? But there's this post. In the coming days, employers will see a stream of resumes of once-in-a-lifetime quality folks. An important thing to understand is that Epic never lowered our hiring standards as we grew, and the layoff wasn't a performance-based right-sizing, a company to call it nowadays. Sound bet that anyone with Epic Games on their resume is in the top 2% of their discipline. Dude, Tim needs to stop talking. He needs to just stop tweeting. Stop tweeting, bro. Stop tweeting. Link that tweet? No, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Don't be malicious. Write a comment? Nah, don't write a comment. Who cares? Hold on, I gotta check if my YouTube's live. Yes, it is. It is indeed. It's just so sad, man. I used to have... Krim, can you bring back push-ups? Are you guys really that fucking thirsty for me to do a bunch of push-ups on stream? Okay, tell you what. I'll bring them back tomorrow, okay? I promise. I'll bring them back tomorrow. Years ago, I'd say like years ago, I really respected Epic, and I thought they were like a pretty cool gaming company. And I still think there's a bunch of people that work at Epic that are still really, really cool. But realistically, Epic is just yet another company just with a different coat of paint. That's all they are. A different coat of paint. A Ripper Junkie? Yeah. You die a hero or live long enough to become a villain? I don't know, man. What did he expect? Like the money to just infinitely keep rolling through? Like I think it's inevitable because of COVID and how they overhired like fucking crazy. Don't get me wrong. And I'm sure that's the same, you know, scenario with a lot of these big companies that they overhired way too much, and then they fucked people over when they weren't making as much money anymore. So the gaming spending increases year into year. It's just different pockets. We just need to have context behind those numbers. We can't just say, oh, well, spending in gaming has increased. We can't just be like, oh, we can't just say that blanketly, right? There's got to be like context behind those numbers. Where is it being spent? Which platforms? Etc., etc. Once Krim started walking off screen on a set frequency to stretch, it occurred to me he's actually changing the chroma key settings to perfectly green screen his true multi-million-dollar location from our view. Some people have sponsors. Crimson, on the other hand, is beholden to the sun. Let that sink in. What, is there a sink at the front door? Why would I let the sink in? Is it a nice sink? Yeah. Money laundering? They found a spot to put the money. Okay, so I guess we're setting it to UI only. My concern with that is our left-click events... When it says UI only, does that mean I can do left-click events on, like, bounding boxes in the thing? So if I do, like, a box... Oh. Oh. Collision preset UI. Okay. And then on begin cursor over, on input touch begin, on clicked. I want to see if this actually can read this. I also want to set this to not hidden. Well, let's try. Okay. I got server mouse pressed. But the instant you left click, it like removes the mouse cursor. Got it. Ah. Oh. Mm. Half the game industry in the West got laid off. Now, again, I think that is just a response to the overhiring during COVID. Click events are enabled in the player controller. Oh. 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 Oh, I see. Which should be, if not, then... Aha! Enable click events. Aha! Aha! Enable mouse over event. Aha! Yes. Yes. Okay. Alright. My favorite VTuber? I'm not a VTuber. What do you mean? I'm quite literally not a VTuber. Okay, but still, doing set input mode... I didn't even get the call. It didn't even... guys, it's still not working very well. Okay, what if we try... Okay, what if we try... Set input mode UI on. Set input mode UI on. Do you mean that's your real face? Yes, unfortunately. Next question. I struggle with the hover over event. Couldn't make it work. Only to have empty widgets on screen with only canvas in it. Blocked mouse over / hover events. Yeah, I might have to do that as we just show like a hidden widget in front. I can't even fucking click this thing, man. This is bullshit. It's bullshit, man. What are the chances this is like not working anymore? What are the chances? Knowing Unreal that these things don't actually do anything anymore. Did they ever do anything at all, actually, to begin with? Yeah. We might... Yeah. But actually, let me see. Does the book have collision? Because if it does, we don't want it to have... No, it has no collision. I've been called when the left mouse button is clicked while the mouse is over this component and click events are enabled in the player controller. Right. Right. Does it need to generate hit events? No. That'd be stupid. But you know how things go. I might just have to do a widget. Like, honestly, we might just do a widget, and then you just click on the buttons to go left and right. And that's it. Your UI widget is eating input? My HUD? You mean? I don't think so, but let's see. Player HUD. Check overlay. Oh, it's set to visible. Okay, let's do not hit testable. User interface equals HUD. User interface is a lot more encompassing terminology. It's not just the HUD. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Don't worry. I comprende. I comprende. That might have been it. Let's see. Nope. That's not it. Nope. This box is fake. It's not even real. Let's see if we can maybe get the call with set input mode, game and UI. Now, here's my problem with game and UI. When I try to recapture the game, it hides the mouse cursor because fuck me, I guess. Even though I have, I don't know why it's whatever. I don't remember what. Oh, now I get the test. But then the problem is that it hides the mouse cursor again because now we've captured the... Why is it when you... So when you have set input mode, game and UI... Is it the lock? Is that what's going on? No. It still does the fucking shits. Here's my idea. Primary action is left mouse button. Nope, that's not showing the mouse cursor again. What if maybe instead of it being canceled, it's being completed? Did you try to focus the widget, aka the book? The book does not have a widget. Okay, now it's permanently showing the mouse cursor, which is good, but why couldn't it do that before? Grim, did you know if you film 75 Hz lamps with a 24 FPS camera, everything flickers? I think. Guys, here's a crazy thing. This only captures when you double click. Okay, fuck you. Yeah, fuck this. Fuck you and fuck this. Fine. I'll do it my way. Asshole fucking engine, piece of shit. Ah! Yeah, we don't have a widget on the book. Now we will, because now that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to flip the pages by making a widget for the book. And we're going to do it that way, because I can't deal with Unreal right now. It's really, really making me real mad. It's making me real mad. Time to write your own game engine. You know, I was actually thinking while I was making my coffee, I was like, I should come up with a list of all of the things I'd have to program myself if I were to move to Godot. At least all the things that I can perceive myself. There's quite a bit that I would want to have from like a tool set standpoint. It's just not worth it. I would end up just making Unreal Engine 2 or something. Like how are people making animation systems in Godot? Are they doing it just with raw code without like a state tree? Hey, Godot is open source. Get in there, modify some things, make the engine truly yours, Linux style. Listen, guys, I'm not a real, like, I don't know how to do that kind of coding. Okay, I don't know how to do that kind of coding. There are animation trees in Godot. I know Unity has a state tree, but I'm talking about Godot specifically. I'm just not a real programmer. I'm not a programmer. I'm just a game developer, I'm not a programmer. Tokyo Spliff just tells the GPU what to do without extra software. Okay, but like Tokyo Spliff is a GigaChad programmer. I'm not a GigaChad programmer. My dude can't figure out what is eating his mouse input. I know it is eating my mouse input. I do kind of know what is eating it. Okay, well, we're gonna have to make a separate widget blueprint for this. If you're doing blueprints, you could probably pick GD script. I'm just honestly not mentally prepared to work in a game engine where I gotta like do everything myself. To be honest, I'm just not really mentally prepared for that. There's already so much to learn in game development. I'm just not ready to add, oh yeah, engine development onto that list. If anybody wants to do that, by all means, go ahead, and I respect it. I respect it because that's fucking awesome. But for me, I'm just not smart enough for that. I ain't smart enough for that. There's already too much to deal with when it comes to making a game. There's already too much to deal with. Okay, time to make a user interface for this. We'll call this widget blueprint underscore employee handbook navigation. How many pages do we have already? We got a solid... Yeah. Wah. Zero. Okay, so we're gonna probably want an overlay to encompass this entire thing. We're gonna want a button on the left side that fills from top to bottom, left side. We're gonna want some text. This text is gonna be an arrow to the left. Then we're gonna make the button slightly transparent. Then we need a second button. This button on the right side is going to have a right-facing arrow. This is going to be forward page button. Back page button. Okay. You don't cease to amaze me. Yeah, we have no pages yet. No actual pages. Right now we're just getting the system out of the way for it. Which I don't even know if we're actually going to put in pages. We might get some of the system in to render the pages. Like, because here, how I'm going to do it is behind the scenes, there's going to be a widget that will have page 1 and then page 2. And then we'll probably have like a render target. 2 render targets, 1 and then 2. Then maybe 3 and 4 when we flip the pages and stuff. And then that's how we're gonna render this onto a material and then render this one onto a material, and then that will render directly onto the book. I'm thinking is how we'll probably do it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. I don't know. I'm thinking that's probably how it's gonna go. I think. I don't know. Really. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. That's about it. That's. I'm assuming that's how it's gonna go. Yeah. Hi, any good tutorials or advice on making a grid system for an inventory, Resident Evil 4 style? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any. I don't really have any. There's probably a few like out there. I would just search up inventory tutorial and then I don't even know what RE4 is. RE4 like grid based, kind of like Tarkov, with each item taking a specific space. Like if you got a long object that takes like 3 slots vertically, is that how? Is it like a spatial inventory? Yeah. Search up spatial inventory on YouTube or something. I don't know. I've never. I've made an inventory system like that. Oh, for the zombie game. Yeah. Very fucking buggy though. I didn't really follow any tutorials for it. You're going to be dealing with a lot of index values and integers. I think how I did it. I think I literally have I probably have a tweet no, maybe I have a screenshot of how I ended up doing it. Hold on. Where's the day after? Where's the day after? Where's my day after project? The day after. You know what? This might be in a different folder. It is in a different folder. Ultra projects. Day after. Yes. Let me see. Do I have screenshots of that process? Nope. I think how it went was everything had an index value. So this was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then crazy shit after that. Bunch of bullshit after that. Yeah. That's how I did it, but my version was quite a bit buggy. So I would not recommend what I did. I don't know. I think other tutorials kind of do it that way though. You could alternatively do it as a rather than just an index value, you have each item taking up an array of slots, and it could be like an X and Y value, but I did it as a singular integer because you could just calculate where those values are in your inventory by doing it that way. But yeah, good luck. Best of luck. First few iterations are probably not going to work fully, but that's okay. You'll learn. Okay, so it's button time. We need to put these buttons on screen. Probably as a 3D widget. Well, not as a 3D widget, but we can put it in as a widget here. Where the fuck is the widget? Where's the widget input? Oh, here it is. Game developer gets mad instantly at literally everything. We probably don't want to do a world space. We probably want to be a screen space. Oh, great. I can't full screen. Well, the pages are in the right spot. Yeah, exactly. Right. Is this going to be affected by... Is that going to be affected by DPI? I think it probably will be affected by DPI. God, I hate stuff like this. Well, balls. Okay, draw size X 1,000. This is going to be very ridden with bugs. This is not going to be very pretty. What if we do world space instead? Let's try world space. Out of curiosity, what does it look like in world space? Well, it's not even on screen. Please hold. Wowee! Looks great! No, let's do just... Yeah, we're just going to stick to screen space. Screen space is better anyways, so... let me reset the scale so that doesn't cause any issues. I think what we do is we make the buttons very big. Humongous. Huge, even, actually. Enormous. Make the buttons very big so they encompass a good enough space that it doesn't fuck anything up. Additionally, I wonder if we should just add this fully on screen. Because here's what I'm thinking. What if the player goes in here and then they click out very, very far outside of the bounds of the book? I feel like when someone does that, they might be like saying, "Get me out of the book." Right? Thoughts on that? I feel like if someone clicks outside of here in these like outside bound areas, I feel like what their intention is, I want to get out of here. So I'm wondering, I think this screen should be full screen. I also think we should hide the HUD when you open up the book. And maybe hide the hand. Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. This is gonna be a not in-world widget, and instead we're going to create the widget on the screen. The owning player is going to be the player controller. Navigation. This does mean, however, that the buttons are now going to be on the... Oh, wait. We didn't add the viewport. Oopsies. Oopsie. Whoops. Whoopsies. What are the default interaction buttons? Do you have like a forward and back type of design? Like left is interact and right is like go? Q currently is our throw key. But right click doesn't do anything at the moment. It's just left click. So left click to grab things, move it around. Q to throw things. Yeah. Okay. So we got the buttons on the edges. What we need to do is create like a padding of some sort. So these are on the inside, and then the outer edges is a completely different type of button. Am I really going to create 4 separate buttons for the sides? No, I don't think I will. How about you make those arrow buttons as 3D objects? I just tested a moment ago if I could do click interactions, and I couldn't really get it to work. So honestly, I'm just going to go off of widget instead, because this is at least a territory that I know about. This is at least a territory I know about. So I guess we'll do another overlay. Probably missed that. No, it's all good, dude. It's all good. Okay, so this is going to be... So we'll call this the book bounds. And we'll give this a padding. And then we'll call this outer bounds. And then the book bounds will probably want a padding. Now, ideally, can I do a scale? No, I want to do scale by safe zone. Actually, you know what? Safe zone might actually be... Isn't there a safe zone? I've never used that in that widget, but... The safe zone widget can run a lot of different non-PC platforms. This is a common occurrence for consoles. Common for TVs to have extra pixels in the bevel. Distance protectors. Oh. Wow, that's interesting. It's actually really, really interesting. So does it create a very slight padding? Oh no, it's not. I guess maybe this happens dynamically? That's very, 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 very interesting. Very interesting. It's not really doing what I want it to do, though. I don't want to input values in the padding here, because that's psychotic. Okay, what about scale box? No, I literally just used that. Size box is based off of raw pixel values, which I also don't really want. Unless the aspect ratio stuff could help, actually. Hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. That actually might actually help. See, I've always used width override and height override. I suppose not working this time around. Thanks for downloading that virus centric crim. The keylogger attached is really come in handy. I didn't download it yet. Who did you get? Who'd you get? Huh? Some random grandma? Project the book bounding box to screen and use it to set the values. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. You're thinking about this in a really smart way. I'm thinking about it in the stupid way. Okay. But that's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. We'd have to get the bounding box size on screen. Yeah, you know what? Let's try it out. For some reason though, my width override and height override isn't. Oh, it is doing something. I just can't have it in fill, otherwise it doesn't. Hi, I'm Phil. They call me Big Phil. Project the book bounding size. Okay. I think Unreal has a node for that. Maybe. I'm curious though. I'm curious. It's a good learning. It's a good learning step. It's a good learning step. Alternatively, we make the left and the right button separate widgets and we attach them to sockets on the book. You know, could always do that. Oh, blueprints? Yo, hell yeah. What's this? Honey, what's this? Check out my REM gun build. I love it. Dude, hell yeah. Put it in the game. There's some really good mods coming out for Deadlock. It's kind of crazy. Rem deserved a gun. A machine gun. Can you actually get the bounding size of an object and how big it is on screen? Can you actually like I wonder if they have a thing for that. We have component bounds. When we polish it, we'll come up with a better thing. Let's just fucking set some values. You need to get the bound and then use the project node. Oh, project. I do remember that. Yes. Project world to screen. No, wait. No, wait. What that? But that wouldn't give you... That would only give you one position. Could you technically get a size from that? Or would I have to get each corner? Guys, it's all right. Let's just figure out a somewhat okay spot for it. Watch this. Oh great, I forgot. Every time you recompile a widget, when it's in game, it just disappears. Great, so I can't even, like, adjust the value. Oh, you fuck. Whatever. A little bit more. A little bit more. The problem is, by doing a width override, if someone has a completely different screen size, it's gonna be fucked. It's gonna be fucked up. It's not gonna be good. So that's our problem. Do we care about that right now? No, not really. So fuck it. Screw it. Something we're gonna have to do for each one of these boxes is, you guessed it, surround it with a size box. Someone's smoke detector is going off. I hate hearing that noise. That shit is like the most anxiety-inducing shit ever. You don't use Common UI? I hate Common UI, personally. Not a fan. Not a fan. Hold on. You need to reward the timeout someone? You're so right for that. Yeah, I really don't like common UI. Not a fan, personally. Okay, so then my question is, what if I play it like this? Is it going to reach the top and the bottom of the book? Surprisingly relatively accurate. What if I squeeze the screen? You know what? It's actually kind of matching up okay. We might be able to just be okay with this. We might be okay with this. Let's increase the height a little bit. A wee bit more. Okay, close enough. Now let's increase the width a little bit. Who on earth is going to play it other than 16 by 9? You mean people with widescreen? You mean people with Steam Deck? People on a TV might have... I'm more so not thinking about the ratio. I'm more so thinking about the sizing. But widescreen is also a concern. Right now, though, it's fine. We'll clean it up later. Okay, now what we need to get is... on mouse click. I need to remember... How do we get... the specific geometry... I think this was a good position. We might be able to get the bounds and then check if you're within the bounds of the UI. I'm pretty sure we can do that. Now the question is, how do I remember how to do that? I'm pretty sure I did that in Soup for Hire somewhere. Or maybe I did it in this game. No, I don't think I did anything crazy UI-wise for this game. Oh, additionally, what we could do actually is get this, hold on, let's do this. Now I know what we can do. I know what we can do. I have an idea. I want to see what the numbers look like. We can check if you're on the... But why is X 473 when we're along the very edge? Oh, it's getting the raw screen space position. Oh, shit. No. Viewport widget. No. Screen to absolute. Translate into absolute application coordinates. Local. Hold on. I don't think it would be include window position. No, we have to... I don't think it's screen to absolute. I could be wrong. This might be a case where we can't really 100% test this in the editor because it might be considering the entire bounds of the editor, which really is annoying. Very not good. Very not good. Very annoying. It have to be screen. I swear I thought screen to viewport would be it. Translate screen position in pixels into the local space of the viewport widget. But alas, 'tis not. We could also just do this in screen space. Let me see if there's different pointer. No, it is screen space position. Translate screen space position, click to viewport size. No. All of it's showing like yeah, the thing is we can't do viewport size because viewport size is going to give us different values. Because the screen space position is like the actual screen space position. How do I compile the blueprint? I see you pressing the compile button. Am I using a shortcut? Anytime I hit the play button, it's going to automatically compile this for us. Because I believe, yeah. Yeah. Screen space position. Not correct. I need to translate this into... Oh, wait. Absolute to viewport might be the one that we want, actually. Wait, hold on. That might be it. Oh. Aha! Wait, how is it 2400? That's fucking crazy. Wait, is that actually what it is? Or... hold on. See, that's more like it. Okay, so now I want to see what value are we getting for viewport size. That looks about right to me. So what we can do is divide this by the pixel position. Actually, I think it'd be the other way around. Yep. And that will give us a 0 to 1 value. That way we can determine if you're close to the edges. Hey, Skyfer, how's your book going? Good. Pretty good, I think. Ideally, you know what would be better? Is instead of me doing this whole value thing, I've already kind of prepared the bounds of this. See, like, look at the bounds of... This is the book bounds, and then this is the outer bounds. Is there a way I can calculate if our mouse position is within the book bounds? Like, in the widget world, is there a way for me... We can get the desired size. This gives us a vector 2D. 100 by 55. Is desired size absolute? What is desired size? Is that in pixel space and then scaled up? Because that doesn't seem right. 100 by 55 is not fucking right. That's what she said? Let's do absolute to viewport. Let me see. Let's see if... What is this giving us? Negative 359. No, that's not it. What is desired size? Oh, we can get cache geometry. I remember this. Ah, absolute coordinate. We can do this. Hold on. See if this works. False. 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 Okay, that's really like if you're really outside of the bounds. So what we might be able to do is actually increase the book bounds a little bit by a tad. And then maybe increase the size of this, 120 pixels and 120 pixels. Cool. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I can determine if someone wants to click outside of the book, if they click out, well, outside of the book. So then this will determine if this is true, basically, to close the book. Or no, if this is false, to close the book. Yes. Yes. Okay, we ended up making that a lot easier for myself. Took a little while, but, you know, I found it. I don't use these nodes every day, so it's like relearning it 5 million times. Ah. Okay. Okay, so we probably want to send the reference of the blueprint to the navigation widget so then we can directly call events to it, which is what we're going to end up doing. So this is going to be the book reference, and it's going to be employee interactable object reference. We want to make this instance editable, expose on spawn, compile, hang, refresh this node, go here. Book reference is going to be self. And then all is good. All is good. And then we'll also have an explicit button to actually close the book as well, right? So that'll also be there because some people might be confused. So yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little Hearthstone on this. And by that I mean when you click anywhere on the page, I might do a little like dust of smoke pop out, like you're tapping on the book. You know what I mean? I feel like we gotta do a little something like that. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, what if you flip the page by grabbing the page and then pulling it to the left or right, rather than just clicking? Yo, wait. Wait, hold on. Wait. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait. That, yes. That seems more along the line, yeah. Guys, can animate every page? No, it's still going to be the fake system where it's just one page flipping back and forth. But can you imagine grabbing the page and then flipping it? Let's just start with the buttons first. And then we can do the rest. We're also going to need a custom event in here to close book. Am I going to have controller support? At some point, yes. We're probably going to do a Destiny style control. Yeah, see, controller is probably going to have to be done a little differently for stuff. Like flipping the pages, for example. Like, instead of flipping the page by grabbing a part and moving it to the left, instead maybe you just push the thumbstick in a direction, it will push the page over a period of time. Most likely it'll be a different input style that then complements that thing. So yeah. You know that mood when you listen to one song over 1,000,000 times an hour because it slaps so hard and then you start going insane? I know that feeling very well. Trust me. I know that feeling very, very well. Yes. Oh, trust me. I know that feeling very well. Okay, so what we're gonna do is close book. We're gonna get the navigation widget. Set the input mode and then destroy actor, which is ourselves. And that will be the close book system. And then in here, we can get this and then close the book. And that will close this book. The idea is you click on the book, but you click on the outside of the book, and then it deletes the book, and then we gotta hide the mouse cursor. So then that way you can just immediately click outside of the book, eh? You see? Now we gotta do the flipping of the pages. Now we gotta do the flipping of the pages. How do you sculpt in Blender? You just start sculpting, bro. You just start slapping shit together. And then you regret ever trying to sculpt in Blender. And then you go ahead and purchase a perpetual license of old ZBrush. And then you suffer in the ZBrush UI. Which is basically the equivalent of suffering in Blender, except everything is faster. And you can deal with 14 million triangles without the program crashing on you. Classic. Classic. Okay, so let's turn this into a function. I can't do that because there's a delay. Ah! Which honestly, we shouldn't really have a delay, but whatever. Alright, fine. Custom event, page forward. Hold on. No, this is page forward. This is page reverse. Are you going to support exclusive full screen? I don't know what that entails. I don't know what that entails. I wonder if people who use ZBrush daily like the interface, or if it's just Maxon forcing it. Listen, I don't think anybody likes it. Listen, anybody who likes or says they like the ZBrush interface, it's Stockholm syndrome. It's known globally that the ZBrush interface is fucking ass. But it is still an extremely powerful piece of software. It's just the UX sucks balls. You can customize the entire UI though. To be fair to them, you can customize the entire UI. So realistically, maybe just skill issue. I don't know. I love Arch. You into motorcycles? You talking about the the company that Keanu Reeves owns? You want to know what sculpting software I used in the past? Mudbox. Ah, yes, Mudbox. Didn't they completely close down Mudbox? I mean, if you can customize the entire UI, they could customize a better default. Yeah, they just didn't have enough money to hire a UX UI designer. Maybe they should have hired the guy from Epic. Or maybe that's what they did. Maybe they did hire the guy from Epic. Knowing how all the UX is for Epic products and services. Like, come on, man. All that money and instead you choose to use it on a fucking lawsuit rather than lawsuits with Apple rather than improving the UX a little bit. What a sad situation with Epic. Jesus. Exclusive full screen display mode where a game takes total control of the display output. Listen, if Unreal has it, then we'll allow it. But I have no idea. You are a millionaire, aren't you? I'm not. No, I'm not. Don't get it twisted. I'm not. If I was, I'd have a house. But I don't. I believe you can still buy the 2024 version of Mudbox. But why would you want to buy Mudbox when you can... Well, I guess you can't buy a perpetual license of ZBrush anymore, can you? Unless you go from like a third party or something, right? We all knew that shit was going to happen. The instant ZBrush got bought out, it's like, yep. This is the beginning of the end for that one. First it was... I think there was something before Substance Painter. But first Substance Painter, if not something before that. Then ZBrush. You built a studio set of your old apartment in your new house. Now that's fucking crazy. That is insane. What insane person would do that? I still fear for future versions of Substance. I might just call it at 2025 and never upgrade. I just... Like... We'll see. We'll see what they do with 2026 version. But I'm going to be honest. They're not selling me on it at all. Like, I'm glad that they're still selling the perpetual license. Thank goodness. But, like, realistically, what is in this? Like, there's the warp projection thing, I guess. Am I really going to pay another 260 Canadian dollars for a warp projection and being able to flatten layers? I'm going to be honest, probably not. Maybe there's a couple performance improvements. This is literally the entire patch notes for them releasing a whole other software. It's just... You can't tell me that, oh, them being bought out by Adobe didn't change anything on the software end. It did. It 100% did. Don't bother. Don't bother. It 100% changed things over there. By the way, Marmoset, how is Marmoset looking? Did Marmoset announce anything new? I know Marmoset Toolbag 5. Is that the new one? The new goodie? Marmoset's cool, but the UI feels a little old-fashioned to me. Yeah, where's Andrea when you need her? It's got a cool look to it. I just don't like... Yeah, Decal projection, very cool. Smudge tool, very cool. Tile strips, hell yes. I think Marmoset is making some good steps forward, for sure. Definitely. They're making some cool-ass steps forward. Someone rang? What the hell? That's creepy. All right, listen, that's creepy. You can't do that. You can't do that. literally getting called. Hey. Wait, hold on. My carpet is like... I have alerts for keywords? You're fucking kidding. You can't... No. Oh, that's... You should get an increase in pay for that. Honestly, that's fucking crazy. That's so fucking funny. How does that... Wait, how do you... Wait. Tell it to my boss? All right, send me the email. Wait, how do you have that? Is it like a global Twitch chatty? You're using the separate IRC program. I used to have chatty. So that means you have a bunch of chats open. And then you get like the little blinking thing. Let me see. Yeah. I get it. Smart. Smart. All right, send over the email. I'll put in a good word. Mark at Marmoset. All right, I'll mark it down. You get the pun there? I'll mark it down. I didn't mean to say... I'm sorry. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, we were curious what Sass is saying. If I know you were hinting at a big update coming. I gotta say, by the way, looking at that Toolbag 5 page, it looks like you can you literally texture a full scene directly in the because I've used Marmoset before for baking, but it's just singular object baking. It almost looks like you can... That's it, you're releasing a great game and getting your studio shut down as punishment. What the hell, man? It's a classic AAA day. Oh, dude, hell yeah. I think my biggest quarrel, but this is like a personal thing, is I just don't like the... I wonder if there could be some like UI customization. That'd be sick. I don't like the bright... Oh, you hacked yours. Oh, you can like... The devs hate me. Okay, well, tell them that I agree with it. I would love this to be like not a bright color because I don't know. I like the rest of the UI. I know this got changed up a lot. Like this changed up a bunch. But I gotta say, I really am not a fan of this bright like. It's just the workflow for it. There's too many tabs. I'm just picky. You know? I'm just picky. I think the thing is, I want it to be too close to Substance Painter, but that's not the point. It shouldn't be like Substance Painter. It should be its own thing. Now, okay, listen. If the library can be better than whatever there was during, I think the switch from 2022 or 2023 Substance to like 2025, they completely changed the library. And I have to say, it is the worst experience of trying to cycle through things. Oh, you're not in the smart material section? Oh, you gotta, like, stop. Why did they change the library, man? Oh, God, I hate that. So if Marmoset can do a better library and the painting tools and everything is like, and generator tools and stuff like that are there, you got a new upgrade from me. I got my old Marmoset version still. Which version do I have? I got Toolbag 3. Wow, I'm 2 versions behind. How about how Substance hides texture channels behind like 3 menus? I don't know. I feel like it's been going backwards. What do I use Marmoset for? Marmoset currently, I haven't used it in a while because I don't do a lot of high to low bakes, but the high to low baking in Toolbag 3 at the time was like 10 times better than Substance Painter. It had cages, it had all these things. Now Substance Painter has that stuff, but Marmoset was like, had some really cool stuff. You could like paint and modify the bounds of the cages and stuff, which was really cool. It was really good for baking in certain spots with certain objects. It was very nice for rendering as well, whenever I wanted to do a render, but that was like very rare. It was mostly for the baking tools. Yeah. Yep. I don't think the new Marmoset is on... yeah, that was another thing. It's not on Steam anymore. Yeah, I remember. It's all done third party. Which honestly, I don't blame you guys for that, because why lose out on 30% when the software could just be done on your own website? Steam isn't playing nice with dev software. Is it beyond? Is it some other stuff beyond the 30%, or is it that's being one of the main contributors to that? Maintaining updates too. Right, right, right. That's one thing. Um, the one thing I am gonna like, I haven't done any of it yet, but I can only imagine releasing on other platforms, like for example, GOG, releasing on what's some other big names out there for like PC. Um, God, I don't even know. It would be such a pain. Well, for one, not only do you have to do updates across all the different platforms, you also have to make sure that your discounts are consistent across all platforms. Otherwise, players might feel cheated. And additionally, some of these platforms actually have rules for discounts as well. So, God, it just becomes such a nightmare, such a logistic nightmare. I guess that would be the term, logistics nightmare. Might as well just local host our own, so it makes sense. No, I get it. I get it. I get it why it's not on Steam anymore. Totally get it. All right, flipping the pages. Okay, let's get flipping the pages going. Now, it would be so cool in the future to make it so you actually physically flip the page. That's going to be so awesome. But for now, we're just doing buttons. We're just going to do some buttons. Buttons for now. Do you use any AI for coding like Cloud or Cursor? Or is it all Unreal? All Unreal. I don't really use any of that stuff. I don't really use any of that stuff. All right. Why did I get smart detection? Hold on, let me allow that. I'll DM you some funny ass splatters UI themes I quickly made. You can show them on screen if you want. I don't even know where my friend requests are. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't know where my friend requests are. I wonder if I can even see friend requests on while I'm streaming. I wonder if that like broke or something. You have your request block? Oh yeah, you have to be in the Discord server. You could always just join the Discord server really quickly, Andrea, and then just leave it. I think oh, you are. Oh, hold on, let me find you then. You guys see. Profile. There we go. Yeah, I'm curious what kind of themes you changed up. To see. Yeah, Faith? Hey, if we can get access to being able to modify those themes, that would be cool. I think that would be a big plus, being able to modify that stuff. I still remember when, who was it? Someone I follow on Twitter who's been doing a lot of like Godot stuff. He completely changed up like the theme for Godot, and it looks so good. And I think it now got put into like the main branch. I feel like stuff like that is great. Yeah, I have my request block because a lot of people try to add me. Not a lot of people, but like, you know, yeah. I do have quite a people that get into my DMs and they're like, "Hey, can I have a free key?" It's like, no, no. What are you doing? Do you think UAE is going to add an AI integration for Blueprint, or is that not in the scope? Listen, man, I don't know what Epic thinks. It's a very simple and straightforward, actually crazy. There is a posterization function. I think it's posterization. There is a posterize function, and I literally just posterize, and then that gives it this cool kind of banding effect, which I think is fun. Oh yeah, it's still waiting on my key. All right, yeah. Your DM is getting sucked into the void. Would love to share it with my 15 followers. A free key will go a long way. No. Don't. No. It's 99% of my email is spam from people acting like other YouTubers and streamers, and then they have the most wildest fucking email that like does not make any sense or correlates to their page at all. And then not only do they ask for one key, they ask for multiple keys. Yep, just another day. Another day on the rift. I can nope. I can't click on the outside. It only works when I click on the top. When I click at the very bottom here, it does not close the book. And now it's not closing when I click on the sides here. What? What? Why doesn't it work over here? Huh? Hey, PewDiePie here. No, I legit had a guy that like emailed me, and they were posing as a VOD channel for like Squeaks. It was like Squeaks VODs. Hey, Squeaks VODs here. I'd love to play your game on my stream. It was like, what the fuck? Who are you? It got to a point where I'm like, I think this shit's just automated. And by the way, I would recommend for people releasing your game, do not reply to those posts, because I think then that tells them that they have they have an email that is actually working. Oh, and you got a gradient. Oh, this one's not bad. I don't usually do UI with like colors like this. What the fuck? Okay, I understand why they're angry at you. I understand. A little blue tint. Honestly, if we can modify like the specific tabs, that'd be cool. And maybe even being able to modify the rounded corners. But I imagine that would probably be a lot harder to do. Actually, I'm okay with the rounded corners. I think it's just the color. Cool. That's cool. I think that's good. Yeah. See, I like this one, like the dark kind of vibe. That is great. You guys got some textures, pattern textures? Oh, dude, hell yeah. I don't even remember what Substance Painter's library used to look like. The one that, to me, was good. Substance Painter library. Let me see if I can find which one was the one that I liked. So this is, I think, I know this is a GIF, but if we just look on the left side, I think this is the current version, or the new version, which in my opinion fucking sucks. Let me see if I can find the old library. Where's the old library? Show me the old picture. I can't find a screenshot of it on. You know what? Maybe I'm just making shit up in my head. Maybe I'm just making shit up in my head. I don't really remember what the library used to look like. Or the shelf. What did the old shelf used to look like? I can't find it. Let's do, what if I search up like 2023? I can't tell if this is the old version or not. Set up your profile. No, fuck off, Adobe. Grrr. I don't remember. I don't remember anymore. But I remember the old shelf just felt better to use. I don't know what it was. It just felt better to use. And I also feel like it was less laggy. I feel like the new shelf is just super laggy. Hey, buddy, can I have a bulk shipment of 200 keys? I want to do a big giveaway for your game. I was wondering if I can get 200 keys. The examples of areas you can target. Jesus, you just turn this into like the McDonald's fucking playhouse? Oh, so right now it's just color customization. Wow, you got a lot here. So we got frames and borders. Yeah. What's that bright pink? Is that frame and borders? That might be, they might be the same. The same section. Hmm. 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 Can also control rounded and unrounded corners of the UI sections. Oh, shit. Did this? Let me see. This is probably, yes, this is actually what the old shelf used to look like. It's just raw text. And this, in my opinion, is so much better than just a couple fucking nondescript icons. That's the current Substance Painter. This is the old one. You just go in, you find your thing. This was, in my opinion, personally, maybe it's because maybe I'm getting old. I feel like I'm becoming an old person. I just prefer the text. So much better. It's so much better. Rather than fucking shit icons. And I feel like this shelf just worked better. And then I love how project is its own section that you can immediately go to. Nowadays, here, let me open up Substance Painter. I'll show you guys why I fucking hate this shit now. To get to your project, just to find your project textures. Let me open up a project here. Let's go to the employee handbook. There you go. Perfect example. So this is the last thing I worked on. So to get to your project baked textures, okay, to go to your project textures, not only do you have to click on textures, you also have to go through this button. This button that's not opening properly because everything's loading, and then click on, and then you have to click on project. So you have to go here and then click here and then go, like you can do all libraries, but then you got to find the textures normal. Bent normals or ambient occlusion. Why, dude, before you just had to like, can we just, like, why does it gotta be icons? Why does it have to take 5 million years to load? Like, what's going on? Have I been streaming this week? Yeah, I've been streaming this week. I streamed 4 hours yesterday. I just prefer text, man. The text is just so much nicer. Maybe there's a... No, that's a list. No, okay, now it's lagging. It just hard froze on me. Okay. I just really like the old version, honestly. It just felt a lot better to use. Now, you can do this where you can, like, multi-click things, so you can control click and then just click on everything. But I just prefer the fucking folders rather than... I don't know. Old man yells at clouds moment. You know how it goes, chat. That's just me in a nutshell. Old man yells at clouds. Ah! Well, what is this from? Silent Hill. No, this is probably a, like... Also, for some reason, when I click on the right side here, it's not closing the book. We gotta figure out why that's happening. Maybe we want to use pixel position rather than viewport position. Unless this cache geometry, last geometry used to detect the widgets. You know, this yet if this call happens prior to the widget. I don't think pixel position is the correct one. Because I think we tested pixel position and like... No, maybe pixel position is the right one. Because I'm finding it's actually giving us the correct thing. Yeah, honestly, I feel like the only reason why I upgraded is because the baking is a bit better in the newest versions of Substance and stuff like that, but other than that... Balls. Alright, honestly, this is in a good enough state where I'm okay with it. For now, this is fine. The thumbnails of my custom grunges? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I swear I feel like loading things was a lot faster in older versions. I could be wrong, you know, I could be wrong. I'm wrong quite often, a lot of times. But yeah. All right, I think we're done with the book for now. This is a good enough start where I feel okay with, like, at least the proof of concept. I do want to make it so we can, like, we actually flip the pages over. I think that's going to be super sick. I think it's going to be super, super sick. But I'm honestly okay with this as a base, as a basis for the book. We have 2 of them here. We are going to have to, I think, do, like a light, like, a little spotlight on the book, because, well, you can't see it. You know what I mean? And that kind of sucks. You know, that kind of just, you know, that's kind of shit. So, yeah, we might change that. What I might be able to do is, let's maybe copy this spotlight. Bring it into here. Let's see what that looks like. A little weird. I think the normals are a bit weird, which is why it's not looking the way I want it to. It could also be the compute weighted normals. I think because we don't... Modifier cannot be applied to a mesh with shape keys. Oh no. But that's what it's looking like in game. Okay, hold on. Let's see recompute normals. I think that looks a little bit more natural. Yeah, whatever. Close enough. We're gonna have to definitely change the flipping page animation. Don't like it at all. Alright, cool. Well, we got a little bit of progress on the book, which I think is fun. What is the book gonna say? It's gonna have some, like, tutorial stuff. As you play the game, it'll probably add things like showing you details about monsters and whatnot as well. So it'll have a bunch of goodies like that too. Cool. Okay. There's rats in my damn train. Papa. I feel like they should react to noise. That'd be funny. They technically... It seemed like he did there, but he didn't. It's because he walked too close to me. Our briefcase is the main treasure boxes in this game. There's going to be some other stuff for sure as well. But it's mostly going to be like luggage and stuff. luggage, and what not. The monsters are monster college graduates. Well, in our monster society, the player characters are usually prejudiced against because they're just not scary looking. So we kind of live in a world where looking scary is like the equivalent of looking like a Giga Chad. Looking scary is your social points. Is this a male or a female bean person? It's a bean. Listen, I don't know these things. It doesn't have a specified sex and or gender. You know what I want to do next? I know it's... No, I actually think it's a good detail, not a useless detail. When you walk around with an object in your hand, it has no movement at all. Like, no movement at all. There's no lag. There's, like, a very slight movement, which I think is an idle animation. Other than that, it's not, like, moving around and whatnot. I wouldn't mind having a wee bit of movement. So, let's see if we can maybe cover that here. Where do we do the equip item system? We attach the actor to the camera boom. What if we attach it to... What if we... Am I going to be doing arms/hands? Probably not. Probably not. Just adds too much. And I feel it adds too much work. And I feel like we don't really get much in return for doing something like that. Like, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. Let's try setting the mesh as a parent, and let's set the socket name to the head. I don't know if that will work. Let's see. It moves around too much now, though. And it's not even aiming towards where we want it to aim. I think it's next 01. Yep. I think this is a case of doing a custom system rather than... Yeah, I think we're better off using a custom system rather than depending on our skeletal mesh. I think the skeletal mesh is just too chaotic. It's going to be too chaotic. I don't think we're going to get a good result from trying to use... Just moves around too much. Like, I guess locally, what we could do... Wait, do we even look at... Does it react to looking at objects? Oh my god, it is. Even though it's local. You guys see what I mean? It's like looking at the objects. That's like... It's kind of cool. But, yeah, it's not really what... It feels more lively, but too lively now. You know what I mean? It Feels more lively. Let me find a trombone. Trombone? This is a bomb. I know it is. It's not. We live another day. How about the sponge? Why don't you have an item spawner for debugging? Well, I'm really glad you asked. Well, well, because I'm stupid. Wait, does it depend on where I spawn the item? It, like, moves it in a different spot? Oh yeah, it does seem like it has a different offset. I don't mind it being attached to the head. I think it should have its own animation system. I think it should have its own animation system. I like that when we move, it moves around too. I think that would be a good element. Is it being dynamic to movement, having a little bit head bob, but not like... Yeah. Yeah, let's just go camera boom. And then we'll figure out the rest from there. We'll figure out what we do. I would like a little bit of movement though. I feel like that would be so much cooler looking. Newer versions do perform slower and sluggish compared to the older versions. I think code is bad, bigger, and less performant. It's less noticed on stronger side of newer PC configs. For like Substance Painter base eater? The game is kind of getting a look of its own by now. It's, yeah, it's slowly getting a cool vibe, for sure. It's slowly getting a little bit of a cool vibe. Now the question is, let me look at, I want to look at some gameplay. I know Lethal Company, if I remember correctly, has a bunch of... Let's do repo gameplay, no commentary. Does it? How much head bob does it have? Because I'm pretty sure it has a bunch of head bob, doesn't it? Isn't it more arm sway than head bob? No, this is insane amounts of movement. There's even like a fucking rotation when turning around. feel like this is too much. Eyeball. What's weird is the head bob continues even when you're finishing movement. You guys know what I'm talking about? Not a big fan of that. How much a head bob does Lethal Company have? If I remember correctly, Lethal Company does have head bob as well. We definitely need some movement on the arm, though. We don't necessarily need head bob. I think I'd maybe put a very slight amount in. But I do think we need a bit of movement on the object. And then we should also define how much movement it should be on a per object basis as well. Because, for example, the trombone... For example, the trombone... This is a bomb. Whatever. Hold on. For example, the trombone... For example, the trombone... Yeah, whatever, man. I don't have... There's no trombone. For example, the trombone... Oh, yes. For example, the trombone, we probably don't want it to move around too much, or if it does move around, it moves around in a very specific way. So, yeah, but we need movement. Like, it feels too, like, stiff at the moment. You know what I mean? It feels too stiff. Since when did I add a trombone and why? Fun, I guess. Funny. I think what we could start with is maybe like a little bit of like very simple rotation lag. The thing is, I don't want to rely on a camera arm because I just don't want to rely on a camera arm. So, should I maybe do like a bone? And then when we attach anything, any items to that bone, then we can animate the bone? Like, that could be one way of going about it, I guess. Right? We just need some. We need some sort of movement, right? I feel like that's the biggest thing. We need some sort of movement. There is no movement with the item at all. I feel like the flashlight would be cool if it sort of goes ahead of the direction that you're facing, so it kind of leans in the direction you're rotating towards. I think having some customization of how it should move is also pretty nice. So then that way each object can have a little bit of its own kind of movement. Let's start with the flashlight. Let's start with the flashlight, and then we can work our way outward. Let's see, maybe we could just put it on tick. Like, fuck it. We ballin'. Screw it. We ballin'. This is replicated though. Well, not exactly. You know, well, not exactly the most nicest thing in the world. Also, we're setting the actor rotation on other clients. Okay, this is fine. I guess we could do this on the false of setting the rotations. So what if we... I don't really know why owning player pawn. I'm not really sure why this is... whatever. Base aim rotation. Yeah, I don't know why we do this cast to if we have this owning player pawn. Sure, I guess. It's kind of useless. I mean, we could just read the reference. Oh, well. Okay, so get base aim rotation. Let's start with something simple. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if base aim rotations are the correct thing we want to do here, by the way. But let's see. No, I don't think so. We want to get the camera, get the boom, camera boom, get the world rotation of that, and then slap that in as the target. Is this not attaching to the camera boom? Get camera. Get that rotation, and then... Okay. Let's try slowing down the interpolation speed just so I can see if it's actually doing anything. I think because it's attached... Yeah, it's probably going to just always... Yeah. Which would make sense because it's attached. So it almost needs to be like separated from... the scene root somehow. I don't think you can interpolate because it's attached and you need to make it separate and make it follow the position of the player. Yeah, we might, that might have to be what we end up doing. Yeah, or we have like a reference point for the where this should, yeah, I think this is going to be what we're going to have to do. We'll need some sort of like reference point or something instead of attaching. It might actually be good that instead of me doing this inside of each actor, that I instead maybe do it on the player character. So let's say we don't attach it. When we equip the flashlight, it's going to stay in place where it is, right? Makes sense. I'm starting to wonder though. I think on server side, okay, here's my problem with not attaching it. When we do this on I swear there's a way, hold on. Is there not a way of making this separate from the main object? Like there's this way of doing it. We do absolute rotation. And instead of setting the actor rotation, we'll set the world rotation of this. Worka, thank you for the raid, man. How are you doing? Good to see you. How's your game coming along? Fellow friend slopper. Ooh, okay. Starting to get somewhere. However, funny enough, the interp speed is 0.1. So how do we... There's no way I gotta do 0.01. It's a little buggy. It's a little buggy. Oh, I'm using get world rotation. Whoopsies. No wonder. Doing sound effects today, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. You don't like doing sound effects, man? I love it, dude. It's like a fun, it really gives like a lot of context to an object, and it just makes it, you can really use sound to your advantage to make things just feel so much more fun or funny or whatever. I just hate the process of adding it. I get it, man. I get it. Let me try an R interp 2 rather than a constant. Fistmaster. When game, lazy dev? Listen, man. Game soon, TM. Not really. Soon-ish. Okay, I think I prefer the R interp 2 rather than the constant interpolation. However, I don't want it to fall behind. I actually want it to be ahead. I don't want it to fall behind. I want it to be ahead of the object. And one way we can do that, I think I saved the variables, saved these variables. Look input, let me see if I actually am using that. Yes, look input. Okay, so we're gonna read the look input. break these two values, combine the rotator, split that. Now the thing is, because this is going to lag behind, we're probably not going to get like a crazy amount of this. But let's see what we can do. Let's see what this can do. Okay, so look input Y is the pitch, yaw is the X, and X. Okay, now we have too much. So 5, 5, bada bing, bada boom. So now it's kind of like a look ahead kind of system. Then let's try slowing down the interpolation speed a little bit. So by slowing it down, we also have to increase the value here. And kind of just get a good feel. Excuse me? Very interesting. The roll is pitch. Right. You know what, actually? Hey. What if we also add to the roll? Oh, you know what? It might be because we're doing absolute rotation. Fuck. Let's try with a... I want to see what it looks like now that we put it to relative. I don't think it would... Surprisingly, it's working still. Okay, let's just reduce those values again. Although the up and down doesn't make sense. The up and down doesn't make any sense. It's like doing some weird stuff. I think Y should be less. It probably will have to be less, but it just kind of looks weird because it also looks like it's adding to the roll. You guys see what I'm saying? It kind of looks like it's adding to the roll. The X is fine. It's just when we looked up and down, it's doing some weird stuff. I like it though. I'm not against it. It adds a little something interesting to it, right? A little bit more life to the scene. I have several victims or volunteers tied up in my gaming cellar for beta playtesting. Yeah, I will need quite a bit of help to test this out, make sure the game feels like it's going, you know, in the right direction. It's gonna be very important. Okay, now we just need movement animations, which I honestly don't really know how we're gonna... Dude, stop! I gotta crank! Come on! Okay, alright. Alright, okay. All right, you think you're funny, huh? I'm going to do a branch after a branch. Interpolate the position a little bit? Yeah, we could. We could. 100%. So now that we're treating the rotation of the static mesh separate from the actor, I think it's good. What's that link, bro? What's his time? His time is negative 30 seconds. Yeah. There's only a moment in time until some dumbass did something. So I guess what we want to do is we want to set the world location. Let's do this. We're going to do something funny. Well, let's do first vinterp 2. Let's get the same delta time in here. Interp seconds. Current is going to be world location. I do think we'll have a lot more control over this if we use some sort of like animation system, like the object attached to a bone. I feel like we'll have a lot more control over it. Do have a lot of filtering on the submission side, but I should do it. I should also do it on the display side. Makes sense. Makes sense. Song. Here's a song. It's called "Start" by Douglas Holmquist. Holmquist. So, I have it on world location. We are going to do this on relative. For a few reasons. It's going to be a lot easier to do this for us. So X is going to be... Oh shit, we want X. X is going to have to be the right vector of where we're looking, whereas Y can just be the Z location. Hold on, let me see if that even works. It do kinda. However, the X is gonna be a bit of a motherfucker. We need to get the actor right vector, and then multiply that by a float, and then split that and put that in the X and Y. That ain't right. Then that ain't right. That ain't right. Let's try the right vector of the static mesh. I wonder if it's because the lag is too slow, or the speed is too slow. No, it's doing some weird shit. Wait a sec, I'm stupid, because now that we're doing relative location, I can just hook up the X, because that's all relative now. Is that the forward? Nope, we need Y. Hold on. Please hold. The Y. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now we can start making some adjustments. So interp speed Probably want to reduce the amount of movement going on as well. And then we definitely need to do a bit of bobbing. Currently we have no movement interpolation. How do we do movement bobbing without an animation? Like, I guess we could do fucking shit. Target Z. So when we do bobbing, we assume that most of the movement is going to happen on the Z, right? Right? You guys agree? Most of it would probably happen on the Z. The bobbing up and down. The little movement we could have. If we do a camera bobbing with this, we need everything to be consistent at the right pacing, which is going to suck. Oscillate on a sine wave up and down position. Yeah, I was thinking about that. But then, how do we oscillate it? Is there like a constant sine wave I could read from? Let's see if maybe some other people have figured this out. I really do think an animation would be the way to go here. Just attach the object to a like one bone skeleton and then just animate that. Math sine? I don't think there's like a sine wave in Blueprint. I know there's one in materials, but camera shake on the camera and walking. We could do a camera shake, but what if we... It's there, you just saw it? These, though, are not what I would want, right? Yeah, the other thing is, yes, we could do a camera shake that would shake the object around. But what if the player wants to turn off camera shake? Then we have no movement on the object at all, and I feel like some of the charm is gone. So I'm okay with doing sin. Like, I'm okay with doing a sine wave. I have that part down. It's just, how do we make the wave? Sine, tick sine wave. It is literally like the sine things. Well, this one's using radians, I believe. Hold on, let's test this. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Okay, how do I increase the speed of a cosine? Like, so let's say this is our curve. How do I make it so the curve instead looks like this? What would be the math for that? You can't turn off the camera shake. Problem solved. What am I working on? Adding a little bit of like movement to the objects when you're walking around and stuff. Multiplying it changes the intensity. How do I change the frequency of the cosine? Sine times. So do I multiply time and then that changes the frequency of the cosine? Oh, that seems to be, so that will speed up time essentially. Okay, hold on. Okay. Then we need to read from our owning player pawn. We need to really read his velocity. I think it's 600 or maybe 500. Then we multiply that by, let's say, 4. Let's go into there. So if we're not moving, it'll be still. Wait, hold on. Times 5, cosine times 5. Zero cosine. I think this is, hold on, let me see if I can watch that value. Turn that on, go here, 5. Oh, interesting. Is the cosine by default always 1? It is 1. So let's just multiply the 5 by our vector length again. Let's just do this instead. And then that'll set it to 0. So it goes back to its original location. Okay, we got a lot of work to do here. You can also compound it with another wave to not be as constant. So like shake it a little bit. Do this, that, then take this. Multiply this, then multiply this on top of this, and then put that in there. Okay, we'll gander into that a little bit later. You know what also? Okay, here's the thing. The shaking is not going to look 100% accurate. Why? Because of the footstep sounds. Oh, shit. We were saying my game is really accessible to speedrunning because of the slow-mo. Let me see. Hold on. Can I click on this? Nope, I can't just preview this without downloading the damn video. And I can't show... Hold on. Here, let me do this. And then I go here. And then I go full screen. And then I go here. Wait, hold on. And then I go here. And then let's see. Okay. So this is one of the people playtesting your game currently. Yeah, because slow-mo also slows down the time. So realistically, speedrunners are going to play like the hardcore version where slow-mo is not a thing. $12. They beat Legendary by like so much. Okay, so matching the movement speed with the actual thing is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a real challenge. But hey, it works. So you can see the difference between an object that has movement versus an object that doesn't have any movement. So let's see, let's add it to... Let's try adding that to the air horn and like see if it looks okay just doing that one basic thing. I don't know why cranking is in here because you don't crank the air horn, so... Can you somehow pass the anim notifier the step to this blueprint so the shake can happen on the anim notify? Yeah, I don't know yet. Spaghetti starting already? A little bit. We're gonna have to turn this into a function that's on the root component. Here's the problem though. It's in C++. It's in C++, which really sucks. But let's see what it looks like with the air horn. It already looks a lot more lively. Just the fact that it has a little bit of movement. It feels a bit more lively. We got a bomb guy. We got a bomb guy. I thought you could add blueprint functions to a C++ class. I can. The only problem is that everything derives from a C++ class rather than a blueprint class. So what I would have to do is make a blueprint class of the item, and then everything derives from that blueprint class. That makes sense. I'm looking for an air horn because I don't have a spawning item system. Oh, there's like no items that spawned here. That's fucking great. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Trombone? Really? Yeah, I really do think this would benefit from having an animation system. Because imagine with the fire extinguisher, we could kind of make it go like shake a little bit, and that could all be run on the animation rather than running on tick. Yeah. Okay, we'll see how we end up doing that. Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly. A single bone with an animation blueprint on it. So we might end up doing that rather than doing what we have. This is a good like stage 1 kind of system. Don't get me wrong, it's a good stage 1. I want to see what the air horn looks like with it though. Air horn? Hello, air horn. I really should make my item spawning system. Would be pretty beneficial right about now. Would be pretty beneficial. Oh my god, you scared me. Oh my god, he fucking... Dude, I jumped. And he's... There he is again. Oh, there it is. Okay, alright, I found it. Excuse me? Yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, all right. Where are you facing? Oh, because you have negative 90 added to your. Ah, of course, of course. Well. Yeah, we're getting into some spaghetti territory. Some huge spaghetti territory. Very spaghetti. But like, dude, look at this. This already feels like such a huge improvement, does it not? Anybody agree? Having even like the slightest bit of movement and a little bit of shaking. You know what I mean? Give me the damn air horn! Crazy what animations can do, and just makes the whole video game feel like alive. It's so good, I'm gonna make another coffee. Dude, oh my god. I think you're onto something. Okay. Air horn. Bandage. Air horn. Fucker! I hate everything. Makes me at least 5x more nauseous now. Wait, does this actually make you more nauseous, having that movement? We could probably tone it down, but can't you just drag the blueprint in the world? Yeah. Or no. Huh? What? I'd move the thing a bit more down and to the right side so it's less on the screen. I kind of want it to be in the screen though. Well, yeah, we could probably tone it down a little bit, move it a bit more to the right. The air horn, I think we could definitely move. Okay, so let me fix the air horn. We're not going to combine a rotator there. Very bad idea. We're going to set this to 0. What we need to do is actually go into the air horn model and change the rotation. They changed it so I can no longer change the import rotation of this anymore. Right? Like, I literally can't do that anymore, which is really stupid, by the way. Where art thou the import settings? Where's the import settings? You can? Where's the import settings? Where's the import settings? It's the way it overcorrects a bit when you look around. Okay, maybe I can like speed it up a little bit. Maybe it's because it's slow. Yeah, why did they gotta remove this shit, man? You know what I bet you? It's because of this stupid interchange bullshit. And now I like... These object shaky slider motion can be changed during the runtime to give the user options /slider to increase / decrease or turn it off completely. Here's the thing, we'll probably make it a setting. However, the problem is if we should just find a good spot where everyone can be mostly happy. And the only moment we really want people to change that is if it's like really just a bad nausea issue, right? So we want to find that nice, really good sweet spot where it still is enough of like a polish that it feels good, but doesn't cause the user to explode. But yeah, we'll definitely... It's so annoying that I don't have... import settings, hold on. Okay, so let me re-export this. Re-import this. Okay, all is good. I like object motion, but not head bob. Gives me slight motion sickness. Yeah, currently we have no head bob. Everything is just based off of the objects currently. I think that is the X and Y movement. Let me do this on here. I believe this is this one. How does that feel? Is that a little better? Oh, the up and top movement is a bit much. Versus this has the older version, which I think is just because of the movement values. So ideally we make this a function that's directly inside of equipable item. I'm gonna have to code it in C++ and then make all of these parameters like intensity values, interpolation speed, stuff like that, if this is the way that we keep this. However, I do think we're gonna move this all over to like a bone with an animation, and we'll do it all on animation basis instead. All right, cool. Oh my god, I thought that was a bomb. One thing I want to do is make it so you can still move things when you have the flashlight out. Right now, you cannot interact with anything when you have the flashlight. I think some items, it would be nice that you can still, I guess use your left hand. Use your left hand, right? But right now, like, I can't interact with anything. This one, I guess it makes sense because can't. But with the flashlight, I feel like from a quality of life user experience, I think it would make good sense to make it so you can still interact with stuff. Maybe we just like change the icon and make it the left hand, you know? A little bit of a stupid polish detail. We just inverse the hand. Maybe we could say your left hand still can carry things, but maybe it does it slightly slower, you know? But you see like the difference between this object that has no movement and this object that has a little bit of movement? Yeah. The only thing I don't like is it's not fully synced up with your footsteps. That's my only problem. It's not synced up with your footsteps. The frequency of it is not synced up. So there's a huge disconnect there, which kind of sucks. You know what I mean? We should move the air horn down. What are we doing? Is this a joke? Oh, wait, it was moved down. The interpolation is, the target is off. Oh, shit. I can't just add it here, because then the current is going to fight the target. Man. Oh, this is, yeah, we're getting into some pretty gnarly, spaghetti territory. Spaghetti and meatball. Big spaghetti and meatball energy here. Big spaghetti and meatball. Air horn? Wait, does that mean I'm gonna have to do the exact same thing? Oh, I'm gonna have to do that everywhere. Fuck. Head bob's not natural on the 2D screen. The only way to work probably is only achieved in VR. The reality of it, man, is a lot of things in game development aren't exactly natural. It's just about finding the way that works best for the game. Because I think a little bit of head bob, a little bit of screen shake is not bad. It's just about doing it with a very subtle amount that it doesn't make literally every single player turn it off. And that just involves tuning the numbers really well. Making sure it makes sense to the context of what's going on and whatnot. You know, things like that. That's what I'd say. That's what I'd say. That's what I'd say. Hold on, I'll be back. All right. Find out about a plugin to link Blender Unreal. I use a different one. I use a different kind of thing. I don't really use like a live link necessarily. I just use a plugin from someone called Xavier. Unreal Engine Assets Exporter, which is free on GitHub. And honestly, this does a really good job of like doing export process and stuff like that. I know there's some other live link stuff that came out, but and all that, but it, you know, I don't really. Live link is not really like something I care for. It's more like export process and whatnot. So, but yeah, there's a bunch of live link exporters, isn't there not? I think there's even one from Epic, if I remember correctly, unless that's something different, which is highly probable. Okay. There we go. That's more where it should be. In the editor config, there's also an option to make assets be auto-updated. Yeah, I used to use that, and it's not bad. It's not bad by any means. What if we do a little bit of roll based on the direction you're moving in? A little bit of add a little bit of roll. How do I check if that's going in the right vector though? So we get the velocity, no problem. I think. Am I in the flashlight? Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, I'm in the flashlight. Dude. Oh, that's the world rotation. I just fucking realized. That's kind of annoying. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe that's why these values aren't 100% working as they should be. It's the burglars again? The burglars! They're back! This is not gonna work. Now I think about it, we do not need the world rotation of the follow camera. And we don't need this combined rotator, but just fuck it. We'll just put it in there anyways. Okay, I think this is correct. We get the right vector of the camera boom. I don't think we want the vector length though. Let me just watch this value real quick. Hold on. Needs to be both the X and the Y. But when moving forward and back, it's still giving a value. So this is actually not correct. This right vector, for some reason. It's getting like negative 33 and plus 33, which makes no sense.
Guys, I don't really know what is going on.
Show. Get velocity. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. We transform the direction of the velocity using the transform. I don't think that we want actor transform because I don't think that's going to work. But let's try it. Let's just watch this value real quick. Why no push-ups? Why Kermit the Frog? Why no push-ups? I don't, dude. Listen, I don't know. Why ask a question with a Kermit voice? Yeah, this transform is not correct. What we might be able to do is get the mesh and then use the transform of the mesh. Another Kermit the Frog. Kermit, why ask a question with a Kermit voice? Well, yeah, that's real funny, guys. Real funny. Oh god, real funny. Wait, it's still not transforming it the way I wanted to. Hold on. From local space to world space. Whoops. Whoops. Whoopsies. Okay, there we go. Now I can just read the X value directly and put that directly in there. Problem, however, is we need to multiply this and inverse it. And also, we can just simply reduce it by doing it like this without having to do division. Okay. Did your rival add these redemptions? No, I don't have a rival. Okay, that shit's tilting way too much. And honestly, I kind of just want it to be either we tilt or we don't tilt without any sort of like... So let's do 0, 5, and then let's clamp this to be either negative 0.05. Wait, no, sorry. No, that's not it. Negative 10 and positive 10. Actually, let's do 5. 5, 5. Maybe 10. I don't know if I'll keep this. We might. Well, we'll probably make some adjustments to this, I think. But it does feel a lot more. It does feel a lot more alive. It does feel a lot more alive, for sure. Which I think is nice. And of course, because we didn't do any of those adjustments, we only did those adjustments in the flashlight. It's, not on the air horn as well, fortunately. $106K viewers. Pog, Valorant category. Yeah. Ah! Get out of there! Ah, whatever. Stay down there. Oh. Scary capsule man with arrow pointing out of general crotch area. Alright, cool. This feels a lot cool. So, one big problem, though, still. That. Not cool. Hold on, I'm cranking my shit. I mean, by shit, I mean my flashlight. This is still a problem. So, I think we need to do, like, a constant line trace forward from where the object is, so that it, we'll call it the anti-clipping technology. Powered by AI. That's how you get them in the shareholder world. Except realistically, all it is literally a line trace. We should probably do a line trace forward. Can't you render the hand item on a separate layer and then composite them together? For an object like this, because it has a light, not really. Like, we have to actually move it because there's a flashlight associated with all of this as well, right? So, I think this is one of those situations where we have to actually physically move it back and forth, which is fine. So, let's do that next, I guess. What if you make the light emit from the player's face? Well, then there's other issues. Like the volumetric fog not being correct. And then the perspective from other players seeing it not being correct. And so everybody cries. Game dev is complicated. Yep. True that. Facts. Alright, so we probably want this to happen. By the way, I'm doing this on set rotation on other clients. I love how I've put the same code in here and whatever. Let's do the thing here. So we'll do a line trace by Chanel. A line trace by Chanel. Let's check that the owner is equal to the pawn. Actually, no, we could do this on all clients. Sure. Let's do a line trace by channel, being visibility. the start will be I guess the rotation of the object although we should probably just use the default scene root. And then multiply this by negative 25. This will be the start point. Does the smooth sync, is the smooth sync working off of, it is doing off of the static mesh. Oh, that's actually quite good. That's actually quite good for, well, no, that's not good for us. Well, I guess it's kind of good for us. We need to change this set relative location to also contain, shit. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Negative 25, and then the end point is going to be, I guess, the actor location? I also have to add this to the start. Let me actually, we're going to do this. Because this we might want a little bit of forward vector actually to encompass, because remember the flashlight has a bit of location stuff there. This spotlight, what is the world location of this? 11. We actually want this to be at least 15 or 12 units forward. But let's say 15 for safety. This might have to change. I'm thinking through this. This might have to change. That's okay though. Well, you know, we can change that. So let's see. We hit 1. And we got a little bit of line trace going on. We're probably gonna want that a lot. Yeah, I think this, we want it to be like 22. 22 is our number. So you can see the line trace. Yeah, okay, cool. So then, from here, desired distance, desired offset. Desired offset. So this is the this is technically incorrect for what we'd want to do, because we want the distance to increase, not decrease. Right? The distance is 0. So here's what I'm going to do. There's a blocking hit. If true, it's going to be this. Otherwise, false will just be 0, because there's no offset. If true, distance. The distance gets lower because of the hit from the start location, I think, right? It's trace start to the location world space, right. However, the shorter the distance, the longer the distance we want it to be. I can hack it and just use map range clamps because I'm stupid, but it's a bit different, Barrabutus, because we have a flashlight with a light involved, an in-world light, so I'm going to actually move it rather than trying to do the whole first-person stuff and whatever. And then also considering that other players are going to see this object on the player as well. Yeah. Whatever, let's just do this. Distance 0 to 50. If the distance is 0, then that means we're like inside of the object. So we want this to be 50. I couldn't think of the math, so I'm just going to use this for now. Hey, you know, screw it, make it whatever, easier for my life. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hello. Do you want to test the new stuff for first person? I've seen it, and I think I messed around with it. It's cool, but I don't know how I would apply it. Okay, let's see here. So desired offset. So the thing with the desired offset is we need to do this inside of our relative location. And we need to put that in the target. We need to put that in the target. Luckily, we might be able to just put that in the desired X. Yes. Okay, hold on. Cooking. In the target X, we take desired offset, multiply that by -1, and let's see how it looks. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, dude, hell yeah. I think we can make the line trace happen sooner. Otherwise, the wall gets really bright. So I think, here's my idea. We take the distance and we plus 5 to it, I guess. I suppose we could do that. Well, it's better than nothing. The only problem is how bright it gets when it's so close up. I think that's one thing we would like to fix. Somehow. I don't know how I would fix that. It does, however, still have this problem. Is that literally that the backwards trace is not far enough? Really? It's so bright! My eyes! Well, it's a good improvement though, right? Right, chat? I'm cranking it. I'm cranking some 90s. Could be a sphere trace instead. It could be, but that might have adverse effects. I think just having a line trace is okay in this instance. But it could be. I'm okay with this for now, because our previous version was this was clipping everything. I just think it being bright is... yeah, could be as simple as decreasing the brightness when super close. We could. It's just really bright, like blinding my eyes bright. But it's a good change. It's a good change. Some clipping here and there is okay. It's okay, don't get me wrong. It's just, when it's something as big as this, and even as simple as just going into, like, an object causes it to clip it, it's a little shit. What the fuck? I want to see what the fire extinguisher looks like with the little interpolation stuff. Yo, watch this. Yo, watch this. Okay, that's not... it's not... hold on. Dude, I can't wait to add some, like... visual effects where it's like once your friend blows up a fire extinguisher, their whole face is just just ash. It's just like something blew up in their face, and you randomly come talk to them and they're like, wait, what happened to your face? Well, I blew up a fire extinguisher. You blew up in my face. So, I don't think there's any... let's see what this looks like in multiplayer. I don't think there's any... you don't see any of the... well, you might. Oh my god, you actually do see the rotation stuff happening. Wait, what? It's replicated. Wait, what the fuck? So, something I realized, the emissive isn't set on the server. Which is kind of weird. What about when... let's test this out real quick. Oh, look at that. The object moves backwards. Cool. Okay. It works just as intended. How about looking at the server doing it? I think it... yeah, it is moving it. Yeah. Okay. Just the emissive, for some reason, is not updated. Alright. Anyways... pretty good stream, pretty good stream, pretty good stream. Thanks for dropping by, thanks for dropping by. Good stream, very good stream. Looking good. Game looking like a video game. Who would have thought? Crazy. Next stream tomorrow, which is a Thursday. Tomorrow, Thursday, we work on more game and make a game feel more like a game. It's currently feeling quite much like a game. I'd say 40% game. Still feeling a little bit like a tech demo, but we're getting there. I think we're getting there. We do need to fix up this poopy code and make it not in every single separate object, and instead in the main item, which is equipable item. Can't wait to have to do some C++ code. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for lurking, chatting, sticking around. I appreciate you guys hanging around and chatting and whatnot. How much work do I do off versus on stream? Depends. Depends on the day. Sometimes I'm feeling like doing some work. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to play some Deadlock. Rank up, rank down. Rank up, rank down. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Goodbye. Have a great day. I'll see you later. I'm going to go eat some food.